We begin our activity by going to www.google.com and we type in our search engine SOCR Housing Activity and hit search. We then click on the first link, SOCR Motion Charts Housing Price Index. You can also access this web page by the following address. Throughout this example, I will refer to this webpage as the Housing Price Index homepage. The following activity demonstrates the usage and functionality of SOCR Motion Charts as a tool for analyzing longitudinal and multivariate data. Some of the goals of this example are to demonstrate how to import data into SOCR Motion Charts and how to explore the graphical visualizations of real-life multidimensional data. Before we begin with our example, I'm going to discuss a few advantages of using SOCR Motion Charts. The first is that it provides a new way for exploratory analysis of multivariate data. Second, we can use SOCR Motion Charts to visualize high-dimensional longitudinal data. Third, it allows mapping of quantitative variables onto time, axes, size, colors, and appearance characteristics. Finally, SOCR Motion Charts can be used as an instructional tool for integrating high-dimensional data in the classroom. Now that we have our activity homepage open, we need to open up two more browser tabs. So we're going down to our description area, and for Macs, we want to open up the SOCR Housing Price Index dataset in a new tab. So we're going to hit Control, click on the link, and open the link in a new tab, which will open up your dataset. And we also want to open up the SOCR Motion Charts applet. So for this, we open it in a new tab as well. We hit Control, click on the link, and open the link in a new tab. Once you have opened up the outlet, you may receive a pop-up. Please click the Allow option. Back to our home page, for PCs, you can open up these links in new tabs as well just by using the right-click button on your mouse. Now you should have a total of 3 tabs open: your home page, your dataset, and the applet. Now we will move on to our example using the Housing Price Index dataset. So go ahead and scroll down to the portion that says Activity. We're going to use this portion of the web page as an outline for our activity. Going to our Dataset tab, we can see that the dataset represents the average housing price for all 50 states for a total of 7 years, between the years 2000 and 2006. It consists of 357 rows and 7 variables. The variables included in the dataset, as seen here, are various economic factors that affect housing prices, such as average unemployment rate, population percent subprime loans, and region by state. To begin our example, we click on the Housing Price Index dataset tab, which is what we're currently on. We highlight the very first cell here, State, highlighting the entire word of state, hitting Shift, and scrolling down all the way to the bottom of our dataset while holding Shift the entire time. Once you are at the bottom of your dataset, we want to click on the very last cell of 0.159. Make sure you highlight everything. So once you click on that very last cell, it'll highlight the entire dataset. Once the entire dataset is highlighted, we want to copy it. For Macs, you hit Command-C. For PCs, you hit Control-C. So I'm going to hit Command-C, and I've copied my data. We now move on to our SOCR Motion Charts applet. So once you click on your SOCR Motion Charts applet tab, click on Data, which is next to chart here. So we click on Data. We click on our very first cell of 0.0. Once you click on it, it should become highlighted. Now we want to paste our data that we copied from our Dataset tab. So to paste it, you hit Command-V for Macs, or for PCs, hit Control-V. Now that our data set is here, we need to map the column variables to different properties. So we're going to use the mapping defined on our home page here, given in this box. So for key, we're going to use year. For x-axis, we're going to use housing price index, and so on. So back to our applet page, we'll use the mappings over here on the right. So for key, we use year. For x-axis, we use housing price index, HPI. For y-axis, we use UR, unemployment rate. For size, we use population, or POP. For color, we're going to use region, by US region. And for category, we're going to use state. Now note, Once you fill in all of your mappings, you're going to receive a pop-up. Please just click OK. Finally, we click back up here to Chart, where we selected data earlier. Now we're going to click back to Chart. I'm going to scroll down so you can see the entire applet in motion. And we're going to play the applet. There are two ways you can do this. You can either hit the play button or move the ball along the scroll bar. I'm going to hit play. Let's watch the applet now. Okay, now that the applet has run, we can ask some questions. Are there any associations between housing prices and other economic predictors like unemployment rate and population size? Well, if we look at the motion chart and watch it as time goes on, so if we bring it back to the beginning, we can see that as time goes on, an inverted U shape begins to develop. That is, as the housing price index increases, unemployment rate increases until a certain point where it begins to decrease. Note, there are a few other features that we can use while using SOCR Motion Charts. Before we play the applet, so if I go back here and click on the beginning, you can click on bubbles, multiple of them if you want, and you can track them as time goes on. So we're going to track Texas, California, and New York. So let's go ahead and play it, and we can watch them go up in the parabolic shape and then come back down. Or, once you have played the applet, you can click on them again to simply unhighlight them. We can also simply scroll over a bubble to see which state it corresponds to, or we can double click on a bubble and get the corresponding information for that particular state. So if we expand this, we can see all the information it has to offer. So going back to our home page, there's a few more details that are mentioned here that you feel free to read. But in essence, the purpose of SOCR Motion Charts is to provide users with a way to visualize the relationships between multiple variables and manipulate them interactively. Finally, we can see down here that this activity can be translated in 24 different languages.